call this meeting to order. Annual notice of this meeting was provided to the Home News Tribune, the Star Ledger, and the Highland Park Planet on January 23rd, 2024. In addition, notice of this meeting via Zoom was emailed to the Home News Tribune, the Star Ledger, and the Highland Park Planet on January 23rd, 2024, and was posted on the Borough website at www.hpborough.com and on the bulletin board at Borough Hall, 221 South Fifth Avenue, Highland Park, New Jersey, and has remained continuously posted as required by law. Fire exits are to the left and the right of council chambers. And as a reminder, everyone please speak into the microphones when you're speaking. Today is March 14th, 2024. We are the Highland Park Planning Board. Roll call, please.
Sure. Ms. Han?
Present.
Mr. Bretcher?
Here.
Mr. Chin?
Here.
Mr. Eisdorfer?
Here.
Ms. Hazy? Mr. Hale?
Here.
Mr. Linares?
Here.
Mr. Malay? Mr. Perlman?
Here.
Mr. Stern Cardinal?
Here.
Mr. Williams?
Here.
Mr. Lynch?
Here.
Mr. Cosenza?
Here.
Mr. Koch?
Here.
Okay. First up on our agenda, we're going to review the meeting minutes from our May 11, 2023 meeting, which was on JSM at Highland Park LLC, who is also our applicant here tonight. Does anyone have any comments on the minutes that they'd like to?
Only one. I noticed that we referred to Mr. Wolfson by his nickname in the third paragraph. Hopefully that's not the right way to do it.
Where are we on the first page?
Yes.
What line?
Continuation hearing. Doug Wolfson. The first.
Okay. Oh, you mean so Douglas
Douglas, or however else we're referring to people.
or Mr. Wolfson?
Right. One of those things.
Okay. How about we make him Attorney Wolfson? That way it matches Attorney Thomas everywhere else on the page. Any objections to that?
Might confuse me with my wife.
Very good. Her presence would have been appreciated as well. All right. Anyone else have any comments to the meeting minutes?
Make a motion, or are you ready?
Yeah.
I'll
Let's,
make a motion to
all right. Motion to
as
accept.
revised.
Motion to accept the meeting minutes as revised, made by Jeff. A second.
Second.
Seconded by Alvin. This we can do all together. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We're going to take a quick skip around on our agenda and quickly turn to our resolution P2024-01. I found it in my packet here. All right, so this is a resolution memorializing action taken by the planning board on December 14th, 2023. Do any members of the board have any comments on the proposed resolution? Yes.
In the first paragraph, it refers to track C and then a whole lot of lot numbers. I think it'd be helpful if they had the block number in there.
Excellent point.
It does.
It's after the
It's after the lots within block 20.
Oh, no, it's on the previous line up here. Oh, within block 2202. Fair enough.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Seeing no more comments on the proposed resolution, I'll open up the meeting to the public for comments on the proposed resolution. If any members of the public would like to be heard on our resolution of our December 14th, 2023 meeting minutes. Seeing none, I'm going to close the public comments on our resolution and solicit a motion to adopt the resolution.
Motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt. Is that a second?
Second.
Seconded. We have a roll call, please.
Mr. Bretcher?
Yes.
Mr. Chin?
Yes.
Mr. Eisdorfer?
Yes.
Mr. Hale?
Yes.
Mr. Linares?
Yes.
Mr. Perlman?
Yes.
Mr. Stern Cardinal?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Han?
I will abstain because I was not present. Okay, so our resolution's adopted. Very good. That's going to take us to our new matters. We have a hearing tonight from JSM at Highland Park LLC, Gabriel Estates, on their minor subdivision and request for waiver submission requirements. And I'll ask the applicants to come up.
Brought my car with me. Anecdotally, when I was a very young lawyer and my wife was still in law school, she did come to me with me to the planning board meeting. But she couldn't believe that I wasn't going to a bar back in the old days. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am Doug Wolfson, notwithstanding Mr. Eisdorfer's assistance in making the record reflect that it's Douglas, middle initial K, Wolfson. I'm attorney for JSM, for those of you who haven't seen me before. This is our effort.
I apologize. Would it be possible to just get the mic so that it's picked up on the video?
Absolutely.
That one?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Earlier warning about speaking into the
Because I don't
microphone.
usually have people criticize my voice. It's being too low. So for those of you who don't know, this is a continuing saga of Buckwoods property. This board granted an approval some time ago with a resolution. As you may or may not know, back in the 50s and 40s, people filed maps in order to subdivide. There was no subdivision applications with planning board. This property is one of those that has, to use the legal term, a zillion lot lines based on 25 by 100 lots, all kinds of things that are not conforming and could never be built. One of the conditions, I believe, that was imposed by challenged professionals was that in conjunction with resolution compliance that we move to consolidate, which is really like a reverse subdivision, to eliminate the lot lines and make the Buckwoods property one lot upon which the buildings which the board approved would be situated. That's really all we have to it tonight. I have with me Mr. Allenbach, who will explain from an engineering standpoint on behalf of the applicant what that means in professional terms as opposed to the way I described it. So if you would be so kind, Mr. Lynch, to swear in or at Mr. Allenbach, you can proceed.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give us is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Just state your full name for the record, please.
Sure, it's Ronald Allenbach, Aulenbach.
And I would just ask you to confirm on the record before we start, we sent in the notices and the affidavits and the white cards. I spoke to Roger.
Yes, as Roger has told.
All right, thank you. I want to make sure we have jurisdiction from the original submission, which we had to withdraw because the notices weren't done on time. Mr. Allenbach, why don't you just explain to the board and professionals what it is we're doing here?
Yes, thank you. As Mr. Wilson indicated, it's really a simple matter of when these lots were created some time ago, there's 49 little individual lots. A majority of them are 25-foot wide lots. Obviously, the board is familiar with the site plan that came in. We have one large building on the entire site. It's something that we probably should have done when we came in for site plan approval, but we didn't. So now we're coming back to do a lot consolidation or reverse subdivision. So we've already obtained a proposed lot number from the borough assessor, and simply what we're doing is just eliminating the 49 lots and creating one overall lot for the entire site. It doesn't change anything about the site plan approval or anything. It's just literally just getting rid of all those little lot lines in the middle to just clean up the site itself as part of our approval process.
So no change in the footprint of the building, no change in access or internal roadways,
That's correct.
no change in utilities.
No.
Before we get into the fuller details of your application, part of this is a waiver of certain submission requirements. Can you speak to those submission requirements? Because we have to address the completeness of your application.
Sure. As indicated in your professional's letters, obviously when you submit an application, there's a checklist requirement. Because it's just merely a lot consolidation, we ask for waivers of all the other submission requirements that typically would go with what's referred to as a minor subdivision application. So it's simply all the other details and plans and everything, which I believe the professionals were comfortable with us not submitting again, because it's just a lot consolidation. It doesn't affect the site plan itself or any anything that this board had already taken action on.
Well, let's take a moment then to turn to our professionals and get their opinions on the completeness of your application, so we can have a motion on that first. Bruce?
Yes, I agree with the request, or would agree with the request for the waivers and find it to be complete.
Thank you. Chris?
I concur.
Okay, any questions from any board members about the request for waiver submissions for completeness of the application? Seeing none, I'll solicit a motion to deem the application complete in its current form.
So moved.
Motion by Stephen. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Jeff. Can we take a roll call, please?
Mr. Bretcher,
Yes.
Mr. Chen,
Yes.
Mr. Eisdorfer,
Yes.
Mr. Hale,
Yes.
Mr. Linares.
Yes.
Mr. Pearlman,
Yes.
Mr. Stern Cardinal,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Yes,
Ms. Hand.
Yes. All right, so to get to the substance of your application, I'll jump in unless you have anything more you want to add before I ask a question. What is the plan for the easements that run across the different lots?
So as indicated in Mr. Koch's letter, there's several utility easements that cut through the middle of the site for a variety of utilities, sanitary sewer, water, storm sewer, all cut through the site. As some of the board members may remember, as part of our site plan approval, we're relocating those utilities in various locations. The water and sewer are being located to the western side of the property, rerouted, if you will. And as part of our site plan approval, it was requested and we agreed to it as a condition that we would create new easements and deed them to the borough for those relocated utilities. So once those new utilities are relocated and the borough has accepted them, the easements will be recorded, and then we can go ahead and vacate the old easements that would run underneath the proposed building.
Thank you. That covers the sewer easement, but do you have everything you need to relocate the other utility easement?
But so we're in the process of vacating the AT&T easement because there's no utilities on site itself. So we're in the process of that. The utilities that we're relocating takes care of sanitary sewer, storm sewer, and water. Are the three other utilities that currently cut through the site. They're all being relocated because they currently run underneath the proposed building.
But your current proposed deed would preserve the utility easements, and you'll just work that out later with the other easement holders. Obviously, the sewer easement with Highland Park, but AT&T is the utility easement holder.
Yes, as part of the lot consolidations, easements aren't being changed or touched. They're still remain in effect until such time that we're able to relocate them, and then once the borough signs off, then we could vacate the prior easements. But they're there for now until such time that we vacate them. And the borough has to agree and sign off on the vacation of those existing easements.
And we have to prepare deeds and send them either to Roger or a town attorney to review as to form.
Sure. I just wanted to know, make sure that this wasn't going to affect the AT&T easement, since they're obviously not here to comment on it, and I don't want to step on anyone else's toes who isn't involved in your application.
Understood.
Does anyone else have any questions for the applicant from the board? Comments? Anyone? Yes.
the Solstice report, basically you found 6 different points. And and then you, in a sense, do the lines through those points, and that's how you consolidated it.
I'm sorry.
You have 6 different points, vertexes on your map there,
Correct, the boundary.
which is, and the surveyor found those points, and so the surveyor only needed 6 points for the whole thing.
Well, no, when survey goes out there, as part of the original survey, he's tying in several points throughout the neighborhood. Solstice had done the original boundary topo survey for us years ago. This is simply using the existing outbounds, which is unchanged. So all the meets and bounds for those 6 points you referred to is unchanged. We're simply just eliminating those internal lot lines that go through the middle.
Okay.
Anyone else? Okay, then at this time, I'll open up this matter to members of the public. If there are any members of the public who wish to be heard on JSN's application for what is essentially a reverse subdivision. Seeing no members of the public who wish to be heard, I'm going to close the public portion comments for this hearing and solicit a motion on the application.
Just first, have you provided our offices with the draft version of the deed yet?
With what?
You do have the copies of the
Yeah,
deeds?
it's right
Okay.
here
So subject to approval,
with the surveying too.
yes.
Yes, so any motion for approval will be subject to final approval of the deed language with Borough Council. Yes?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Want to make a
We're gonna
motion on
perfect
the
my deed or
application?
perfect my filing draft?
Oh, yes, Bruce.
And the reports.
And the reports, yes, and subject to the comments and the reports of our professionals as well.
Thank you.
One minor thing.
Yeah.
On the document called deed of consolidation, you have the planning board secretary, it's me, as Jennifer San Diego.
Okay. We'll make sure it gets adjusted. Again, the borough has to sign off on the final
Yeah.
document, so we'll make sure it gets adjusted. I apologize for that.
Mr. Lynch, will the resolution, assuming there's a vote of approval, include in it a recitation of the completeness vote as well?
Yes.
You always did that? The board always voted on completeness?
Roger always insists on having us review the completeness of an application first. And in the spirit of him, even though he's not sitting next to me.
No,
I want to make sure we
I
hit that
think
point.
you certainly have the power, but it's very, very rare that a board doesn't delegate to the professionals the determination of completeness. So what I just wanted, since you went through the trouble of having a vote, I just wanted to make sure, since we don't have a letter from the engineering department that it's complete, that would be included in the resolution.
Yeah.
We do.
Oh,
Both
I just wanted their
Already-
testimony on the record to
both of
affirm
them are
that.
complete.
but they didn't believe him?
I believe him, I just
It'll-
wanted it to be said out loud.
It'll
People
get-
listen to our meetings, we're very popular in town. People need to know.
It'll get
Yeah.
incorporated into the resolution that we'll refer that as approved ahead of, or it was deemed complete ahead of approval if it is needed approved.
Obliged.
No problem. Anyone have a comment or a motion?
I can make a motion, I just want to say as a comment, really appreciate getting the plating for some of the old 100-year-old plats, the 25 by 100 foot lots. It's interesting history and before zoning. So as planners, really appreciate seeing how towns grew with a naturally occurring affordable housing. 25 by 100 foot lots. You don't see that much anymore in New Jersey. Probably could stay and see a little more of it. I'll make a motion to approve. I had to get that. As far
No,
as
I appreciate it. I have the maps laid out on my living room floor. I was staring at them too. All right, motion to approve the application subject to deed approval and the reports of our professionals by Jeff. Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Alvin. Let's make a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Bretcher,
Yes.
Mr. Chin,
Yes.
Mr. Eisdorfer,
Yes.
Mr. Hale,
Yes.
Mr. Linares,
Yes.
Mr. Pearlman,
Yes.
Mr. Stern Cardinal,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Hand.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
okay. This time, thank you very much for coming.
Roger has asked about
And it was an approved.
All right. Scott, your turn. Anything interesting happening around town?
We actually got a permit for a new two-family on Dirt.
Oh, on that vacant lot? That's like the one that burned down and I think they sold it, the lot.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be good. We could see another house going on.
Yes, it's permitted.
Did anyone else have any comments on anything that's on the mind? Anyone from the board? All right, seeing none, I will open up this, our meeting to the public one more time for comments on anything we haven't otherwise discussed on the agenda tonight. Seeing none, I'm gonna close once again the public portion of our meeting. And at this point, would anyone like to adjourn?
I move.
Motion. Seconded, all in favor? Aye. Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody.